in the world of sports and exercise science, there has been so many technological advances made over the years, not only with actual gameplay, but also, scoreboards weren't always around to actually make sports competitive, and also injury prevention methods have been created over time. So, in this paper, I include a few examples about what technologies have been created and how technology has improved all three domains of exercise science: psychomotor, affective, and cognitive. To start off, sports technology has a range of categories. For starters, injury prevention, Fitbits, other types of monitors can be attached to the athlete and measure their muscular endurance, and see how much stress is taken on those muscles, so the athlete knows that so they don't overdo it, and so they know how much more they can take. Along with the computer stuff, there's also technology, advancements in actual sports clothing. Dry fit material has been created over the years, so sweat doesn't get in the way. Adidas has a cloud foam that makes the shoe lighter and easier to run in. It's also very comfortable. In softball, baseball, they have sliding shorts. It's got padding on the side of each thigh, so when you slide, you're not scraping just dry dirt. That kind of hurts. There's also, I wore a chest protector in softball, and it, because I was a pitcher, balls were flying at me pretty fast. It was designed so you couldn't see it under the uniform, because if you could, I would have been a little embarrassed. But it made me feel a lot safer during the game. There's also, technology that applies to each domain. First of all, the psychomotor domain, it deals with the basic fine motor coordination skills of sports. Practice makes perfect in the psychomotor domain. An example that I used in my paper of technology that has improved this domain is tee in baseball and softball. So a tee stays in one spot. The ball's at the same target each time, so when you're batting, you can work solely on your swing and your batting skills. And tees are designed where you can adjust the ball placement eventually due to how well your basic skill level is. The affective domain deals with how the athlete personally feels about movement and how they apply that to their actual movements. Coaches typically take the affective domain and create game-like scenarios in practice to see how the athlete applies that. So they'll see how they apply that in gameplay. And an example of affective domain that I used in my paper was videography and smart watches. So if an athlete gets an actual visual of what they're doing on video, they can apply that into their gameplay. So finally, the cognitive domain, it's all mental once you get the basic skills and the scenarios in the affective domain. You can apply that to actual gameplay. The example I used in my paper for the cognitive domain was a spinner in softball. So a spinner is just a little disc. It has seams where the seams would be on a softball, and you practice your grips and your flips. So once those are mastered with the spinner, once you get into the game, like mentally, muscle memory, you already know how to hold the ball, how to spin the ball, so it just comes naturally once you get into the game. Of course, there's many more examples of how technology can improve each of those domains, but those are the ones that I chose to use. Not only does technology improve all three of those domains, but it also improves overall physical fitness for individuals. So for starters, the first aspects of physical fitness would be muscular strength and muscular endurance. The machines that you find in any regular gym facility, those weren't always around, but they're around now, and they do help with both muscular strength and endurance. The next category of physical fitness is body composition, and technology such as DEXA machines, bioimpedance, underwater weighing, those can all be used to measure body composition so you know where you stand and you know what needs to be improved. Next, we have cardiovascular, and apps on your phone, they can measure your steps every day. There's a ton of apps that can help you measure your cardiovascular well-being. And finally, the last aspect of physical fitness is flexibility. An example of how technology has helped flexibility, or a technology that does help flexibility, is the large rubber bands. They're most typically seen in physical therapy facilities, but they do help with stretches and they do help with flexibility overall. The main points of this paper highlighted how technology has helped all of the aspects of physical fitness and all of the domains of learning and exercise science as a whole. Overall, I do believe that technology will still make its mark in the future. Mainly, I predict that technology will be made to focus on the injury prevention side of technology and exercise science and sports, because if injuries can be prevented, athletes can go into the game giving it 100% without worrying about the risk of injury. If we can get the risk of injury down and through technology, I think that the world of sports will be a lot better.